I am.
I think we're ready.
We're ready. All right, I will call the Muskegon County Community Development and Strategic Planning Committee to order. And Kathy, could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Sear,
Here.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Here.
Vice Chair Hughes,
Here.
Commissioner Leering,
Excused.
Commissioner Nash,
Here.
Commissioner Pago,
Here.
Chairman Skolnick,
Here.
Commissioner Wilkins,
I believe she will be here. If not, she will be excused.
Commissioner Brown.
Excused. And we do have a quorum. Next on the agenda, I will recommend and ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and support. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none. Kathy, would you want a roll call or just a regular?
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. That motion is carried. Now we have approval of the regular and closed session minutes of January 13th, 2022. And I'd like you to note that it is 2022. There was a misprint on the agenda that said 2021. So we are approving
We
the,
have closed. I don't have closed session minutes.
You all got those like a month ago in your emails. So,
this was from January 13th.
right. It was
Oh, okay.
It
immediately
wasn't the
after.
new one. So. And I need a motion. And just a-
So
Go ahead.
to clarify, there's no closed session minutes today to vote on.
Yes.
Yes, these, there is. We're voting on the ones we got before.
Last week.
Oh, the ones that we got
Yes,
before?
yes.
Okay, usually you give us an envelope to read.
They gave it to us. on
So
a
it's the
meeting.
same ones we read last time?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right.
And I had an amendment or something on that, didn't I, that we corrected?
I think that was the ones before that.
Okay.
Prior.
Yep, I think it was two prior. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hovey Wright. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Skolnick. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
Opposed,
Opposed.
just because I'm not
Okay.
very
You don't
certain
remember?
what I'm voting on.
No problem. Next, we have public comment on an agenda item. Doesn't appear we have any hands up, or do we have any public in the audience that would like to speak on an agenda item? Okay. We will move on to items for consideration. Number A is from Bob Lukens, CDSP 22/02-07. Move to increase the pay scale of the Parks Maintenance Supervisor and Senior Parks Ranger pay table grade $21.27 to $26.78 to pay table grade $22.87 to $28.73 with incumbent employees at step 6, $28.78, and the parks maintenance worker pay grade 1739 to 2191 will be raised to 1895 to 23,910. We will be sanctioning Chairman Stone.
Second, I'll support that.
Thank you. We need a
Motion.
Which would you prefer?
I was actually referring to Bob.
with incumbents employee at step 23,910 and adjust the budget accordingly.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Melinda, are you supporting this?
No, I was actually, I was on
Charles,
order,
you're
sorry.
supporting. And I need a second.
Second.
And Marcia seconded that. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Is Bob here? Oh, yes, he is. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Yes,
Yes.
where is this? It says it's not budgeted.
Bob Lukens, Community Development Director. It is not in the budget, Commissioner. These employees have been with the parks for many years. The two managers or supervisors have not had any increases in the past 6 years. The parks maintenance worker stepped out last year, so this would be a $2 increase for those 3 employees. The budgetary impact will be
12,480 annually.
correct. Yes, so that'd be an additional 12,480. And there is money in the reserves that's available for this, and we have been seeing an upward trend in parks reservations. Last year, if you'll recall, we exceeded our budgeted amount by $40,000, and this year we anticipate even greater.
I'm not disputing their need for the raise. I was wondering where it's going to come from, what fund.
It would come from the Parks Fund.
Okay, it wasn't, I didn't see that in there.
That's supported by fees, right?
Yes, correct.
Didn't we just increase the rates?
That was for the seasonal workers, Commissioner. These are.
No. I'm saying the rates for the
Yes, yes, we did.
camper. So we're gonna look at possibly more revenue also.
Oh, yes. I think the estimate there was between 45 and, or between 40 and $50,000 additional coming in from the raising of the park fees.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Seeing none, Kathy, could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hughes.
Yes. And that motion carries. Next, we will move on to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business to come before the Community Development Strategic Planning Committee? Seeing none, is there any new business? Commissioner Nash.
Madam Chair, I wanted to introduce a second option in this committee as a possibly more appropriate resolution honoring Black History Month. Copies have been passed out to those commissioners, and if you prefer, I can read it. If it's
please.
Yeah. why don't you read it?
I'd like to hear.
I have
Whereas in
no time to read.
1776, people envisioned the United States as a new nation dedicated to the proposition stated in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whereas African Americans were first brought involuntary to the shores of America as early as the 17th century, whereas African Americans suffered enslavement and subsequently faced the injustices of lynch mobs, segregation, and denial of basic and fundamental rights of citizenship. Whereas in 2017, the vestiges of these injustices and inequalities remain evident in the society of the United States. Whereas in the face of injustices, people of goodwill and of all races in the United States have distinguished themselves with a commitment to the noble ideas on which the United States was founded, and have fought courageously for the rights and freedom of African Americans and others. Whereas African Americans such as Lieutenant Colonel Allensworth, Maya Angelou, Arthur Ashe Jr., James Baldwin, James Buckworth, Clara Brown, Blanche Bruce, Ralph Bunch, Shirley Chisholm, Hope Collier, Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, Ralph Ellison, Medgar Evers, Alex Haley, Dorothy Height, Lena Horne, Charles Hamilton Houston, Mahalia Jackson, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, B.B. King, Martin Luther King Jr., Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, Rosa Parks, Walter Payton, Bill Pickett, Homer Plessy, Ace Reeves, Aaron Rebels, Amelia Platts, Martin Robinson, Jackie Robinson, Aaron Shirley, Sir Jordan True, Harry Tubman, Booker T. Washington, for Greensboro 4, and the Tuskegee Airmen, along with many others, worked against racism to achieve success and to make significant contributions to the economic, educational, political, artistic, athletic, literary, scientific, and technological advancements of the United States. Whereas the contributions of African Americans from all walks of life throughout the history of the United States reflect the greatness of the United States. Whereas many African Americans lived, toiled, and died in obscurity, never achieving the recognition they deserved, and yet paved the way for future generations to succeed. Whereas African Americans continue to serve the United States at the highest level of business, government, and the military. Whereas the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass inspired the creation of Negro History Week, the precursor to Black History Month. Whereas Negro History Week represented the culmination of the efforts of Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history, to enhance the knowledge of Black history through the Journal of Negro History, published by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, which was founded by Dr. Carter G. Woodson and Jesse E. Morgan. Whereas Black History Month, celebrated during the month of February, originated in 1926 when Dr. Carter G. Woodson set aside a special period in February to recognize the heritage and achievement of Black people in the United States. Whereas Dr. Carter G. Woodson stated, "We have a wonderful history behind us. If you are unable to demonstrate to the world that you have this record, the world will say to you, you are not worthy to enjoy the blessings of democracy or anything else." Whereas since the founding of the United States, the nation has imperfectly progressed towards noble goals. Whereas the history of the United States is a story of people regularly affirming high ideals, striving to reach those ideals, but often failing, and then struggling to come to terms with the disappointment of that failure before committing to try again. Whereas in November 4th, 2008, the people of the United States elected Barack Obama as an African-American man as president of the United States. And whereas in February 22nd, 2012, people across the United States celebrated the groundbreaking of the National Museum of African American History and Culture on the National Mall in Washington, District of Columbia, which opened to the public on September 24th, 2016. Whereas on February 25th, 2010, the Muskegon Civil Science Museum, along with many Muskegon County Black leaders and veterans, helped to establish the Robert E. Garrison Jr. Award to annually honor Black war veterans of Muskegon. This award was named after Dr. Robert E. Garrison Jr., who was known to be one of the original Tuskegee Airmen during World War II, who moved to Muskegon to establish a respectable career as a family physician for many residents of Muskegon County. And whereas in February 12, 2019, Governor Gretchen Whitmer appointed Muskegon County's own Zanetta Adams to be the first Black female director of the Michigan Department of Veteran Affairs. Zanetta Adams rose to the ranks of private first class during her 8 years of service as a member of the Army, National Guard, and Reserve before she was medically discharged with honor. Now therefore be it resolved that the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners, one, acknowledges that all people of the United States are the recipients of the wealth of history provided by Black culture. Two, recognizes the importance of Black History Month as an opportunity to reflect on the complex history of the United States while remaining hopeful and confident about the path ahead. Three, acknowledges the significance of Black History Month as an important opportunity to commemorate the tremendous contributions of African Americans to the history of the United States. 4, encourages the celebration of Black History Month to provide a continuing opportunity for all people in the United States to learn from the past and understand experiences that have shaped the United States. And 5, agree that while the United States began as a divided country, the United States must A, honor the contributions of all pioneers in the United States who have helped to ensure the legacy of the great United States, and B, move forward with purpose, united tirelessly as a nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas this resolution is unanimously supported by the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners, and a copy of this resolution shall be forwarded to Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Muskegon County State Senators, State Representatives, Congressional Senators, and Congressional Representatives.
Thank you. Marcia?
Yeah, I like this a lot.
You need a motion in a second before we can
Oh.
discuss.
So I move that we support
We
this.
have a motion by
resolution.
Commissioner Harvey Wright and a support by Commissioner Nash. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns? Marcia, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is very appropriate for what we're trying to celebrate. I like how inclusive it is, and so many people are mentioned, including local people. I would change the year in the fourth third whereas to 2022.
I noticed that as
Yeah,
well.
I think, this has been around a while.
It's a
apparently.
third, it's a 1,
Is
2,
this-
3, 4th.
Yeah, where it says 2017, it should say 2022, still occurring. And then instead of having our secretary send this to congressional senators and congressional representatives, which seems like a lot of work, that we just do the usual rounds to the counties, because they'll use it. This came from DC, so they probably already saw it.
That's what I was gonna ask, where did this
Yeah.
one come from?
That's why I wanted to use, I wanted to make sure that they understood
That what?
that we followed their lead.
Where did
So
this-
you would like to keep it with the
Well, I
congressional and,
think it would be probably the senators that actually put forth this will probably want to see that.
okay,
We
I'm
followed their
okay.
lead, but it was modified to fit Muskegon too.
I was just trying to save some work.
And it does say,
And that's fine. I mean,
Muskegon
I'm
County
not
State
trying to work
Senator.
anyone. but
I noticed
So
that also.
representatives, it doesn't say not all of them,
Yeah, just the representatives, not
Mhm.
our representatives.
just our representatives.
Oh, just our representative.
Yes.
Okay, well, then I would like to include the counties of Muskegon,
That's
so they can
standard,
use
any
it. Yeah,
resolution
it's
goes
standard
to all
anyway.
counties of
Yeah.
Michigan.
But otherwise, I really like it. It is in the,
Yes, go ahead.
I think this was a well-written, I don't know who wrote it, but this is really touching. It's very, very nice.
I have to echo that, especially since it included people from Muskegon County, like Zanetta and
Mhm.
Dr.
Right.
Garrison, and,
Right.
people that most of us knew. So,
But part of that was try to make it local, but also the resolution mentioned this Muskegon Airmen.
Yep,
So
and-
tagging him in there.
Yep.
worked out very well. But I also wanted to make sure we honored our females by making sure we had a
because
Thank you.
respectable woman in there, so.
nice
that
job,
was-
nice choice too.
Yeah.
Why isn't Commissioner Wilkinson?
well, because then she couldn't vote on it.
Oh, right.
I asked the same
Right.
thing. We might need her.
I
vote,
didn't want a
yes.
conflict, so, yeah.
I think we can do some amending still though. But where did this originate, Charles?
This originated from a couple of senators from DC that put this together, and then it was signed off.
What year was
Pretty
that?
much everyone. This was this past year.
This year? Okay.
And then you put in the local.
And then
I was
put it in
wondering the
local parks.
2017
Yeah.
also. I was wondering
Yeah,
what the
why was
2017 was.
2017 in there?
That was a curiosity of mine. I don't know. I left it because like I say, I wasn't. It must have been made a point. I'm not sure why.
That could have been where some of the back history came from, was in 1917, and they drew it up, and now they're,
Right.
and let everybody else, add their local.
So, but it's true for now, too,
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Right.
So you're
We'll
okay
change
with
it
it?
to
Fine with
2022.
the date change. That's fine.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
I do. I have a couple. Can you forward the original that it originated? It was
Yeah, I can get it.
compared or
taken from?
Well, yeah, that you used for $100 for this one.
I'll send that to the office after.
Perfect.
And then, so I mean, the one that I presented the other day, you know, this, I'm for something, okay? I do, because you took it into more personally into our county. I would still like to see Commissioner Wilkins has been involved in quite a lot. So if she's not opposed to having herself included in that, I think that would be very,
She's African
very
American.
good.
But yeah, she is, and she deserves it, but then she can't.
Well, that's what we're in discussion and I'm asking her
Why
if
can't
she would like the honor of
Why
being
can't she do it?
included, but then she just wouldn't be able to.
Why?
And I don't think she would be able to be, how would she not be able to vote? Because she's not gonna gain anything financially.
I don't see it as a-
Yeah. It's not
Not a
a
conflict?
conflict.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
thank
include
you,
her.
Mike.
I don't think it would
started so
either. I mean,
sorry.
we're not asking her to do anything or telling her to do anything or giving her any money or we're just telling you, thank you, you don't get paid.
That's the first.
Send our hearts, but no money.
Jump that up, right?
Now, if you start selling them with your signature on it, making money off it might be a problem though.
I think that'd be a good idea if she can vote, then that's good. Yeah.
So will we, Charles, this
is.
is your, I'm sorry, Melinda, did you have something else?
Yeah, there's concerning one paragraph that in the second back page,
Mhm.
6th paragraph down.
All the names in it.
No, whereas the history of the
Is there
United
an
States
extra
is the
copy?
story of, yeah, I ended up with 2 on my desk for some reason. Whereas the history of the United States is the story of people regularly affirming high ideals, striving to reach those ideals, but often failing, which is true, and then struggling to come to terms with the disappointment of that failure before committing to try again. I don't like that sentence, before committing to try again. Struggling to come to terms with the disappointment of that failure before committing to try again. I guess I'm not.
I don't have a problem with that because for me personally, before I stuck my neck out there again, I'd want to get over the first slap in the face. You know, I mean,
Well, I think you have to understand is that, there's been so many different goals and trials.
Yeah.
There's been so many different leaders, look at all the leaders been taken out
Yeah. Yeah.
by whatever controversy. But what they're saying, we've struggled, we've worked hard, we've had some failures, things have gone disarray, but
Right.
We try to deal with that and then we try to,
And move on.
like
got up
Angela
and
Milo
dusted
say,
yourself off.
we rise again, and we just keep trying. So, and I think that goes for everybody, because, we also realize that we've always had allies in this fight, and, we keep trying one way or the other.
in any fight. I
Right.
mean, we've all,
Right.
everything
Right.
if we fail, we get up and dust ourselves off and move forward again.
Keep going.
So at this point,
We'll just, yeah.
just to review the changes, whereas this is on the first page, the 4th one down, change 2017 to 2022.
Mhm.
That's
And then at the end, include the counties of Michigan. Did you want to leave or take out the congressional? Oh, that's just ours, not all
Ours,
of
yeah,
them.
that's ours.
Yeah, just our congressional.
Okay, that's just 2 people. So those are the changes I heard.
Plus, Mr. Ellison,
And add Commissioner Wilson.
Oh, and add
Your name,
Commissioner
yeah.
Wilson, yeah,
we'll put that in there under page 2,
Right.
right.
next to where it falls in line with the other one.
But if we put all of the great things she's done, it'll be 8 pages.
That's right.
We can remove everybody and just do it.
There's so
for her.
much written.
There you go.
about it. We can find plenty to put in.
No, I'm serious.
That is an idea.
What's that?
What was that?
That would be an idea too.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I mean,
But it's Natural History Month. I think we need
Yeah,
to
that's right.
recognize all those.
There's a lot of,
that's.
I don't know all of them, but I'm hoping.
No, I don't
they've been
either.
vetted.
I'm gonna help you out in a second. so.
But locally, you are our hero. So we will be moving this forward to the full board
We can still continue to make more edits,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Because, okay.
and bring those back at our next meeting.
Are you gonna take a voice vote?
Pardon
Are
me?
you gonna take a voice vote?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just mentioning if that's what we're gonna do is move it forward to the full board. So, all those in favor of moving it forward to the full board? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. And that motion carries.
That was with, or as amended, correct?
Yeah, with the corrections that we indicated. Is there any other new business? Yes.
Madam Chair. Since we're here, I think I would like to read this. I've been doing some studying on Black History Month. A book from David Barton called American History Black and White. It's been very, very good, very enlightening. But this resolution also mentions Frederick Douglass. I just got a real short thing on Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, born Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey, February 1817 to 1818. And died February 20th, 1895. He was an African-American social reformer, an abolitionist, orator, writer, and statesman. After escaping from slavery in Maryland, he became a national leader of the abolitionist movement in Massachusetts and New York, becoming famous for his oratory and incisive anti-slavery writings. Accordingly, he was described by abolitionists in his time as a living counterexample to slaveholders' argument that slaves lacked the intellectual capacity to function as independent American citizens. Likewise, Northerners at the time found it hard to believe that such a great orator had been a slave. Douglass wrote 3 autobiographies describing his experiences as a slave in his narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, in 1845. Which became a bestseller and was influential in promoting the cause of abolition, as was his second book, My Bondage and My Freedom, in 1855. Following the Civil War, Douglass was active campaigner for the rights of freed slaves and wrote his last autobiography, Life and Times of Frederick Douglass. First published in 1881 and revised in 1892, 3 years before his death. The book covers the events both during and after the Civil War. Douglass also actively supported women's suffrage and held several public offices. Without his permission, Douglass became the first African-American nominated for Vice President of the United States as the running mate and vice presidential nominee of Victoria Woodhull of the Equal Rights Party ticket. Douglass believed in dialogue and in making alliances across racial and ideological divides, as well as in the liberal values of the U.S. Constitution. When radical abolitionists, under the motto of no union with slaveholders, criticized Douglass's willingness to engage in dialogue with slave owners, he replied, "I unite with anybody to do right and with nobody to do wrong." African-American hero.
Thank you very much for including that.
Since Commissioner Seer mentioned Frederick Douglass, one of my very most favorite quotes is actually from Frederick Douglass. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them.
Very good comments. Thank you. We will move on now. Is there any more new business? Seeing none, public comment. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to final board comments. Any final board comments? We already kind of had that, so. And we will adjourn. Thank you.
You're the boss.
Our transportation.
Doug's not here.
Doug is not here.